Well, it's been a little bit since I've made an unscripted video, and only reason I'm making this one is because I got access to the Deadlock playtest a little unnoticed, right? It was kind of a spur of the moment thing, and I wasn't expecting to actually get to playtest it, but shouts out to the Two Fort Twerkers Discord server. I got the playtest courtesy of some of the people there. Of course, I went to it as a joke. What I said is whose knob I gotta slop to get the Deadlock playtest, and what I was told, he pretty much asked, why would you even want to play it? And what I said was, essentially what I said was, I don't believe what's being said about it. I think most of it is just being poorly explained, and that's why it sounds so bad, is because most of the explanations about Deadlock are coming from Tyler fucking Vicker, which I made an entire video about him. He's kind of a fucking idiot, and whenever Tyler explains anything, he makes it sound like shit. I don't know how he does it, but he does it. And that's pretty much exactly what happened. I believe that how Deadlock was being explained was just being poorly explained by somebody completely unqualified to be explaining it. I don't know how you can be unqualified to explain a video game, but Tyler is it, right? And he pretty much explains Deadlock as a third-person hero shooter MOBA with tower defense, right? Which sounds fucking awful. It sounds fucking awful. That conceptually sounds fucking... That's just bad. That is dog shit, right? Okay, and let me be real with you. Deadlock isn't this big mishmash of a bunch of different game genres. Deadlock is a MOBA. It's not a hero shooter. It's not a fucking... it's not a tower defense game. It's not the new TF2 or anything. It's just a MOBA. Deadlock is a fucking MOBA. Deadlock is a MOBA with more emphasis on the third-person shooter aspect, right? Deadlock plays like a glorified game of Smite. Okay, I used to play Smite, and I stopped because I learned, wait, MOBAs aren't fun. I don't have fun playing MOBAs. I played Dota. I played one match of Dota 2, and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, and my team was immediately screeching at me because, oh wow, I'm not allowed to learn the fucking game. Fuck you, right? And I uninstalled and I just never played again. And so, you know, I'm not going to touch League of Legends because anything that I would have experienced in Dota 2 is 10 times worse, from what I've heard in League of Legends. Smite is pretty much the only MOBA game that I played. Now, when it comes to like hero shooter mixed with MOBAs, the only other one there is Paladins. And Paladins is, I'm not going to say it's one of my favorite games, but I like Paladins. I like Paladins. Stopped playing it because they keep making awful fucking balance choices. There's a lot of cheaters now. And... you know, like, realistically, who's sitting there complaining about Terminus? It says Terminus is overpowered. Characters that didn't need nerfs would get nerfed, and characters that need nerfs never get nerfed. And, you know, I just kind of got sick of it. But Paladins focused more on the first-person hero shooter aspect more than it did the MOBA aspect, right? It has MOBA elements, but it's not MOBA-focused. And that's why I like Paladins. Because the MOBA aspect was completely irrelevant most of the time. It was downplayed, and you could pretty much play the game ignoring it, right? In fact, I think recently they added like a no items mode, so you don't even have to like fucking use the MOBA shit. But Deadlock is not that. Deadlock is just a fucking MOBA. It is a glorified MOBA. And that's what really pissed me off. is it's not special. It's not, the only thing that makes it special is the fact it's the new Valve game. That's it.
I need to check out the relic shop.
That's the only special part about it. Other than that, it's just a generic fucking MOBA, right? Like, I'm gonna try to keep this video in 3 sections. The first section is gonna be over the gameplay itself, right? Second is gonna be over the concepts, right? That the visual style and shit like that, like the concept of the characters and all that. And then the third part's gonna be the characters themselves, and anything extra hopefully will be at the end. But the gameplay, I like. Let me just preface this for this entire review, I guess you could call it. Let me preface that Deadlock isn't necessarily bad. It's bad because it's a MOBA, and MOBAs fucking suck. But like, it's not unplayable. It's not garbage. It's not. It functions. Like what you get is what was advertised, right? As best as you can advertise a game that's not even out yet. But I know somebody will comment, it's in alpha, it's not even finished. Deadlock is in a completely playable state. There's already like matchmaking and shit. You can hop on games with real players. Now it's not completely finished, mind you, but it is in a completely playable state. It is a functioning product for the most part. It is valid to criticize because this is an almost finished game. This isn't alpha, bro. This is a beta of a game, right? Fuck, I was playing Paladins when it was in fucking beta, right? But the gameplay isn't completely intolerable. It functions. It's a MOBA. There's not really there's nothing you can really elaborate on. You level up to fucking buy your skills and upgrade your skills. You get currency to buy items from the shop that affect different aspects of your character, like fire rate, life steal, fucking armor and health regeneration, shit like that, right? It's just a fucking MOBA. That's it, right? There's nothing I can really elaborate on gameplay wise. Like, it's just a MOBA. The only really unique thing I saw compared to other MOBAs is the lanes, right? And lanes are annoying, but like the rails, the whole like fast travel with the rails and all that I liked, right? That I think kind of made it more tolerable instead of having to walk all the fucking way down a lane. But like it's so ununique. It's not special. There's nothing unique about it gameplay wise. It's just a fucking MOBA. That's all it is, right? And for some people, they like that. They like that. That sounds great to them. And if that's the case, cool. Great. Honestly, I hope you enjoy it. But like, the only other thing about gameplay I could really comment on is like late game in a match. In one of Zesty Jesus' streams, he got a comment on it, and it said like late game Risk of Rain 2 when talking about Deadlock, and it's like one of the most accurate ways you could describe fucking Deadlock. Whenever you're in like the fucking the last area to defeat the patron of the enemy team, it is like a massive fucking clusterfuck. There's so many sounds going on. There's so much shit on your fucking screen. It's actually genuinely making your shit lag. Like so many sounds, you don't even know what the fuck they mean. There's like an air raid siren over here. There's like a fucking electricity going on everywhere. There's a weird fucking slime lady kind of boing boing bouncing everywhere and shit. There's a fucking redhead Mr. Freeze fucking freezing shit, right? Like it is just a massive fucking clusterfuck, and nothing makes sense. Your screen is visual aids. Your ears are being raped by countless fucking sounds, and there's just so much shit happening on screen, right? I'm not like prone to being overstimulated by video games too much, but like never before did I think like playing a game I'm gonna have to like be like whoa I'm gonna need a fucking minute, right? Holy shit, right? There's just so much shit going on. It's ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. But that's really the only thing I can comment on gameplay wise. It's like an objective negative thing. There's just so much shit happening that you don't like. It's so impossible to tell what the fuck is even happening late game. What the fuck am I doing? Like what whose weird fucking force field that's stopping my bullets? Whose is this, right? What character made this? What's the visual distinction? It's just so much shit going on everywhere all at once. And it's just there's just like so much shit the characters put on the field and all that. Like one character's got a weird bullet stopping force field. One character's got a dome of ice. Another character creates these giant fucking cubes and fists of goo. Like there's just so much shit. There's so much fucking shit. And like other characters that aren't necessarily like building shit on the map, other ones will have like these just visually obnoxious effects around them, like the fucking what was it? Fuck it. The weird blue Hellboy dude with a book and the big revolver. He's got like this weird lifesteal ability, and it creates this big weird bluish purple fucking force field around him, and it's so visually fucking noisy. That's the best way I could describe Deadlock is visual noise. It is so unbelievably visually noisy that it's I don't even know what the fuck's going on, right? And graphics and visual shit really lets me transition into concept and like the idea, right? Visually, for a Source 2 game, it looks okay, right? It doesn't necessarily graphically look bad per se. It's got a cartoonish stylized art style. It looks okay, right? It's not like, I'm not going to say it's a bad looking game, but like the concepts, like in the visual design, and that leads into the characters as well, but when it comes to like the world and setting and all that shit, it just feels like a mishmash of a bunch of different shit forced together. It's very incohesive. There's no cohesion, right? It's just a bunch of it's literally like they took a bunch of different fucking shit and duct taped together, right? That's how Tyler described like the gameplay concept and all that. It's just a bunch of shit being duct taped together. But that's not the case. It's the fucking art style, the fucking visual design and shit that's being duct taped together, right? You have like film noir shit, fucking occultism shit, just shit forced together, right? It's like they took different types of media and just forced it to fucking together, right? You have fucking weird 1930s gangsters on fire, fucking Elvis Presley, robots and shit. It's just so incohesive. There's just so much shit, and it just doesn't look good, purely because it doesn't go together. It doesn't mesh well, right? It doesn't make sense. You have weird demons and shit with robots and all that, which could work, right? It works for Warhammer. You know why it works for Warhammer? Because it's like a whole creative thing made by itself, right? It's its own fucking universe. It's its own, like, it's not derivative of anything to my knowledge. It's its own fucking thing, right? You have space orcs with fucking these weird robot, resurrected robot things. You have fucking humans in giant power armor. You have these fucking literal fucking demons, right? Like, it works because it's its own fucking thing. It's not derivative. Deadlock feels extremely fucking derivative. Not inspired by, derivative. And it just kind of fucking sucks, right? Like, graphically it looks fine, but the overall concept feels extremely forced. It feels very inorganic. It doesn't feel natural. There isn't a natural cohesion going on with it. I know I'm explaining that like dog shit, but There's no other way I can really describe it. It's just I have this instinctual gut feeling that this shit doesn't belong together. This shit visually doesn't make sense. This shit looks like shit, right? And then we really get into the characters themselves, and I mean, fuck. One of the first characters that leaked originally was Grey Talon, and Grey Talon is like a perfect fucking example of the characters in these games. Shit, soulless characters that have no personality, that are over-designed, and they just look bad. They just look like shit, right? Like, there's not a single original-looking character here. They all look fucking derivative. Like, there's nothing original here, right? Oh, wow, you got a fucking monkey on top of a giant mole pig thing. Oh, a big robot with one big arm? A fucking ginger guy with a freeze ray gun? Wow, a giant guy made of goo? Fucking a black guy on fire in a 1930s gangster outfit? Oh, wow, bro. You got a soldier guy with a big gun? You got a... Damn. It's almost as if there's no fucking original character here. Like these characters, they look like shit. They're soulless. They don't have any real personality to them. At least most of them. Most of them don't. There's like only 3 characters that I actually find like interesting, and it's Infernus, the weird fucking fire 1930 gangster. Warden, which is the big soldier guy with a gun, and fucking Shiv, which is like a weird Elvis Presley prisoner or some shit. And like, they're the only characters I find like interesting. The rest, I could give a fuck less about. They look generic as fuck. They look like slop. They look like goy feed, right? They just look bad. They don't look good. They look bad. It is just beyond me how Valve has just like this is something they let go, right? And I know it's a conspiracy, right? And I might just be going schizo mode, but I don't think this game was leaked accidentally. I think Valve gave the go-ahead on it. Valve was full well aware because Valve wanted people to see, they wanted people's opinion on it. And, well, the opinions aren't good. I don't think there's too many Valve fans that are being like, wow, this is really great and original. Wow. Like, no. By and large, everything I've seen about Deadlock so far is it's not that good. It kind of fucking sucks. And this is what you've been working on for so long? This is it? Bro. Like, come on now. This is an embarrassment for Valve. This is something they shouldn't be proud of. This is something they should be ashamed of, honestly. This fucking, it's bad. It's just bad. It's not good. And it's just absurd. It's ridiculous. But the only other thing I can really think of, the only other thing I can really comment on is why the fuck does this exist, right? The original idea that Tyler McVicker, the data miner, the fucking data miner, what he dug up was that it was supposed to be a multiplayer Half-Life game that was supposed to work like, think of like Natural Selection, the mod and of course the sequel, but within the Half-Life universe. That sounds fucking awesome. That sounds amazing. And then they went full retard and scrapped that shit and instead decided to make a fucking MOBA, right? And my question is like, why the fuck does this exist? What possessed Valve to do this? And I know the answer. I know the answer, and I'll get to that in a bit. But like, you're actively making a game that's going to be competing with your own fucking game. You already have Dota 2. You already have a MOBA. You already fucking have a MOBA. Now, I get it. Deadlock's a third-person shooter and a MOBA, but it's still a fucking MOBA. It is a fucking MOBA with light, and I do mean light, shooter mechanics, right? And it has some movement, which, by the way, the movement doesn't feel that good. It's not bad, it's not completely unusable, but it's not exactly what I would call a fucking movement shooter, right? It feels like dog shit, right? Why are you making a game that's going to be actively competing with something you already have? And I already know the answer. Valve is really slow on the upkeep or whatever the fuck the term is, right? They're out of touch. Valve is really out of touch. So they think highly competitive hero shooter MOBAs will make the big bucks, right? This is where the money's at. Woo! Right? They're fucking out of touch. That's the only explanation I can think of that would make Valve think even remotely that this was a good or smart idea. You are wasting millions of dollars to make a glorified MOBA that looks like shit, that plays relatively like shit, and it's just shit. It's fucking shit, is what it is, right? And that's all I really can say. Like, it is not something that I would spend money on, right? And thankfully I didn't have to, right? But if this game is not free on launch, then they might as well not even fucking bother, because this is not worth any kinds of fucking money. If this is what Valve is genuinely planning on making their next big release, then Valve should just cancel it. Shut the entire thing shut it down, right? Either that or completely rework it into something original, right? It's not good. It's just not good. It sucks, right? But my final thoughts is, like, it is somewhat fun. It is somewhat enjoyable. But there's just, like, so much shit wrong with it that it's just not a good game. It's just not a good game. And if they double down and continue on this current direction they have the game going on, they're fucked. They're fucked, right? This will be one of the biggest financial failures Valve will ever fucking see if they double down and continue on with Deadlock the way they're currently doing. It's not looking good. But I want to say thank you again for the guys at the 2 Twerkers Discord server. It's pretty much the only Discord server I've had any actual fun on. But I want to thank you for watching. Shit. God help you if you're a Valve fanboy.